Hi. After going through this week's material and given the prompt to think of something that includes some form of transformative justice, immediately the case of Shanda Sharer came to mind. I first heard it on the podcast Morbid. I think it's episode 215. You can look up Morbid Shanda Sharer if you want to hear it. I'll also link a video on YouTube, a shorter one, if you don't want all the gruesome details, because it is a really shocking and horrific case. Shanda Sharer was killed by 4 other teenage girls. Shanda was only 12, and she was killed over jealousy from the ringleader, Melinda Loveless. Melinda had orchestrated her murder and got other girls involved, and they tortured her. They burned her alive. It's a horrible murder to think happening from, that just involving teenage girls. And Shanda's mother had a really hard time dealing with it. That her 12-year-old daughter, was taken and gone forever. Melinda Loveless was sentenced to over 60 years in prison. And eventually, in her 30s, she began working with service animals and training them. She would train them and prepare them to be out in the world with someone who needed a service dog. And the facilitator of the program had come to her, and she was happy to do it, and she's gotten a lot out of it. You can tell that she's really compassionate with the animals, and she cares about them, and the animals are dependent on her, and they, reciprocate. And that really helped guide her towards a different path, and it kind of made her realize, how hard it is when you raise something and love it so much, and you spend so much time with it that then you have to let it go. It made her just realize how awful it must have been for Shanda's mother to have her actual baby child taken away. And so the facilitator of the program went to Shanda's mother, Jackie, and actually asked if she would be willing to donate one of the dogs. And she said yes, and she was going to have Melinda specifically raise and train it. And in this way, I think they each kind of recognized what each other had gone through. Jackie had explained that she learned of Melinda's past. Melinda had been sexually abused and endured a lot of other abuse growing up. And so it kind of gives not like a reason as to why it led up to that point, but it is somewhat of an explanation of just how angry Melinda had been at that point in her life. And even though Jackie says that she doesn't want to have any contact directly with Melinda or any of the other girls, she never wants to actually talk to them or see them face to face. I think that's really a really good example of how a victim can choose to participate in transformative justice, but they don't have to meet eye to eye. Literally, they don't have to, talk to come to some sort of agreement of forgiveness or acceptance. But it's a really good example of just a different kind of transformative justice, and it always made a really big impact on me when I first heard it.